There's no client list. There's no evidence of any blackmail. And there's nothing, no evidence that could predicate an investigation against anybody else. So, I'm announcing, and I have announced previously, but I'm going to release some new information here on stage with you today. It's time to take matters into our own hands. If we can't get transparency, then we need to be the change that we seek. We released images. These were images given to us by people in the government, people who don't trust the government. First, we got some images inside the Epstein temple, never before seen. Very strange stuff, including something on the ceiling. We were trying to decipher what that was. Then we got images inside his library, including on his blackboard. I presume the FBI has all this. Strange things, power, deception, various words. A lot of people online trying to decipher or crack the code. We even got images inside his bedroom. Next to his bed table, there was a phone. On the phone, there was a series of names. Karina, Darren, Rich, Mike. I wonder if any of these people know what happened with all this child stuff that happened. But I think it's time for us to just hear directly from FBI agents. What do you guys think? We're going to release the Deputy National Intelligence Officer of the FBI, whose name is Rami Hassan, and he's talking about the Epstein case, and he says, I'm with the FBI, quote, it's a shit show. And this is, I'm just going to play a little clip. You can find the rest of it online.
I'm with FBI. This is a shit show.
Small coincidence, but
I'm with FBI.
This is incredible. It's great to be back here. I don't have the bulletproof vest on. I'm just wearing the cross today, so hopefully that protects me. Because we tend to make a lot of enemies telling the truth, don't we? You can tell a man's virtues by his enemies and his vices by his friends. Thank you, Charlie Kirk, for having me. I got a lot to get through in 20 minutes. Thank you, everyone. This is incredible. One of the largest crowds I've ever seen. It's my 10th year at Turning Point. And I'm going to tell you about Jeffrey Epstein. So, some news last night as I was flying in. I saw the news regarding Dan Bongino resigning from the FBI. I saw the collision between Pam Bondi, Bongino, Kash Patel, stuff happening. I want to tell you a little story, take you behind the scenes, take you undercover, as we try to ascertain what's really going on. They always, why do they always tell the truth only in private? Why do they not say the quiet part publicly? But maybe they say it privately. Let me take you back to the month of April. This is April 28th in a restaurant in Washington, D.C. This is the Attorney General of the United States talking to someone. They recorded it, sent it to us, talking about tens of thousands of videos.
you know when the Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon. The FBI's been.
Okay.
So-
Any dates?
No, you know what it is? There are tons and thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. So they have to go through every one.
Now, we sent the Attorney General an email requesting comment. This is on May the 1st, a couple days after the 28th. We quoted what she had said, tens of thousands of videos of little kids, not something that's been reported publicly. After we sent the email, suddenly we saw this at the White House.
James Comer said yesterday that all the Epstein files are missing. Confirm the status of them. We still haven't heard from you.
No, the FBI, the FBI, they're reviewing, there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
It seemed to mirror quite identically what we had captured just 9 days prior.
Tens and thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Something didn't seem to add up. It raised questions. The questions for me and my team was, and this is not an easy story for us to publish, is why share that with someone at a restaurant but not share it with the American people first? We also saw this on Joe Rogan.
No, we're giving you everything we have.
And is there video from the island?
Not of what you want.
But is there footage?
If there was footage of anyone doing anything else, we would have opened a case.
there are tens and thousands of videos. Yeah, and it's all with little kids.
Something doesn't seem to be adding up. Now, the Department of Justice issued this statement, which you probably all saw this week. There's no client list. There's no evidence of any blackmail. And there's no evidence that could predicate an investigation against anybody else. There's no story. There's no evidence. Now, listen, as a reporter, as a journalist, I can always tell you, there's always a story. It's just a question of to what degree. But to see the government tell us there's no story, it just doesn't seem to add up. And I'm a little biased on this issue because I myself, my team, as you know, have been raided by the FBI. Granted, it was the previous administration that did this. You're looking at a search warrant. The FBI taking battering rams to our doors a couple years ago.
I'm sorry, so what is this regarding? This is the search warrant. Open up.
Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. They go after teachers, they go after mothers, they go after journalists in the United States of America under the flimsiest of pretenses, often a pretext, often a false pretense, and they lie about it. They ruffle through our notes, they go through, and by the way, the previous Attorney General expressly forbid this. Even the liberal news media was against it at the time that it happened, but this administration did get around to releasing the affidavit, the probable cause. The case is now closed. In my case, they closed the case and they had to release what's called an affidavit. That is the justification for the search warrant, the probable cause. Thankfully, hopefully, we'll now see who lied to the FBI. We'll see the transparency. We'll get the accountability. But when they released this affidavit, this probable cause, they redacted every single word. You are looking at the justification for the raid of my newsroom. The Department of Justice right now could wave their magic wand and show you what's behind these black lines. Does the public right to know outweigh whatever marginal concern the FBI has to protect their confidential informants? And by the way, it's a crime to lie to the FBI. This is over the Biden diary stuff. Did actually Biden lie to the FBI? If you or I lied to the FBI, we'd be in trouble. In fact, the only thing that wasn't redacted on this document was a footnote that said, based upon my training and experience, I have learned, this is an FBI agent talking, that cell phones are capable of sending emails. This is just bizarre. Even the ACLU protested this. This is another liberal organization defending me in federal court. This is just bananas. What does it mean to be liberal anymore? What does it mean to be conservative anymore? I consider myself a constitutionalist. I believe in the First Amendment, I believe in the Fourth Amendment, and I believe in the public's right to know. So let's go back to this. Department of Justice statement this week. Much of the material is subject to sealing. We need to protect victims. Well, I'm all about protecting victims, and I don't believe we should publish any child pornography. But this did not expose any additional third parties to allegations of illegal wrongdoing. By show of hands, how many of you think that's a lie? 100% of you. I mean, this is crazy. So, I'm announcing, and I have announced previously, but I'm going to release some new information here on stage with you today. It's time to take matters into our own hands. If we can't get transparency, then we need to be the change that we seek. We need to have people come to us, sources on the inside, brave people, often speaking out of turn, and we released images. These were images given to us by people in the government, people who don't trust the government. First, we got some images inside the Epstein temple, never before seen. Very strange stuff, including something on the ceiling. We were trying to decipher what that was. Then we got images inside his library, including on his blackboard. I presume the FBI has all this. Strange things, power, deception, various words. A lot of people online trying to decipher or crack the code. We even got images inside his bedroom. Next to his bed table, there was a phone. On the phone, there was a series of names. Karina, Darren, Rich, Mike. I wonder if any of these people know what happened with all this child stuff that happened. We even were able to find out the names of these people by doing some research. His last girlfriend, his advisor, his lawyer. You're trying to tell me that none of these people had any knowledge about any illegal activity? But I think it's time for us to just hear directly from FBI agents. What do you guys think? You know, I have an idea. What if we launch something called FBI Leaks? How about that? How about we release audio and video? Listen, you know, whether they come to me on the record or off the record, they tend to be more honest off the record, so perhaps we need to publish what they're saying off the record. We have to do that. And in our first video, released right now online, we're going to release the Deputy National Intelligence Officer of the FBI, whose name is Rami Hassan, and he's talking about the Epstein case, and he says, I'm with the FBI, quote, it's a shit show. And this is, I'm just going to play a little clip. You can find the rest of it online.
I'm with FBI. This is a shit show.
Small coincidence, but
I'm with FBI.
He also talks about that you can kind of see where law enforcement kind of either turned a blind eye or missed things. This man is a director, and he's saying law enforcement turned a blind eye. The question is, what did they turn a blind eye to? And I'm calling on everyone on the inside with knowledge of the situation to come out, to tell the truth, because we, the American people, have a right to know. Now, I have been doing this a lot recently in the deep state, and some of this stuff you can't make up. We've met with people in the Pentagon, the Department of Defense. Remember this guy, Jamie Menina? He's a former FBI special agent within the Department of Defense, caught this year during the new administration, talking about what he does inside the intelligence community.
To the intelligence community, and I became an FBI special agent. So I became a spy hunter. So I was a counterintelligence agent, special agent at the FBI.
Now he then proceeds to, by the way, what about the irony of a guy who's a spy hunter being caught on hidden camera by my team? Thankfully, I'm not a Chinese spy.
To the intelligence.
Jamie, you're a spy hunter, you say. Well, I'm a spy hunter too, but I'm evidently a better spy hunter than you.
We have no permission to use it.
Actually, we do. It's called the First Amendment. You talk about hunting spies. What if my undercover person was a Russian spy?
Go away, you liar. You're a known fraudster. You have a poor reputation. No one believes you. Go away.
Okay, so this is the former FBI...
This is what they do, by the way. They attack you, little slings and arrows, little paper cuts taken 100 times over. People stop trusting you, but you got to keep going anyway, screaming at me that I'm a liar. In fact, they even got a lawyer to sue me, this guy who's what I call an ambulance chaser for intelligence agents, and he sued me and said he's going to expose all of our undercover people. He even tried to blackmail me, saying that, well, if you cooperate with us and give us funding, we won't post the names of your sources. These people play dirty, but we're not going to give up. Sometimes I meet with them myself. You might be saying, how is that possible in Washington, D.C.? It's possible because these people have some type of psychosis where they're not even paying attention to who's talking to them. You have to understand how these people in Washington, D.C. work. They don't care about you. They want money and they want power. But we have to expose that. This guy was one of the guys at the Biden White House telling us all about what was happening inside the Biden White House. I was sitting right across from me. At one point, the guy actually, they never asked me a question about myself. Our undercover people, they never ask us questions. At one point, he actually says, so tell me about you. I was like, whoa, I've never been asked that question before. No one's ever asked me that before. So I turned it right back around on him and I said, you're like this famous person who's like a spy. It's like you're James Bond or something. And he was like, oh, thank you so much. He kept talking. Just flattered him, kept going. Pretty remarkable stuff. I took my glasses off, revealed who I was. This guy is so dumb, he doesn't recognize James O'Keefe, who is not so heavily disguised, but simply wearing glasses. And again, it has nothing to do with my disguise. These people are in some type of psychosis. They have no idea. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. They want power. If you think people in politics are in it for changing the world, then you got to spend some time in D.C. This is one of the funny anecdotes. as I'm doing this, there's a couple beside me. They must have been having an affair or something, because the woman said, I can't be in this video. I can't let my children see this, me in this video. Some of the damnedest things happen when we're actually doing this sort of thing. We've also confronted this guy. He's in the Pentagon. His name is Jason Beck, Total Force Requirements and Sourcing Policy, Office of the Secretary of Defense. This is the deep state. These are the names and the faces of the people that are behind the scenes, unelected, really running the show. Jason Beck says we need to abolish the Senate. He says we need to pack the Supreme Court. He says we need universal health care. At one point, he started talking about sharing all this classified information. I told him, you're making me horny by doing that.
Universal health care, we could start there. Abolishing the Senate. Gosh, there's so many things that you could do. They do have the classified stuff there. That I can't talk about.
Oh, you're turning me on already. I can neither confirm nor deny.
So it's important to hold these people accountable. We have to use whatever legal means necessary to hold these people to account. Because without accountability, freedom is just an illusion. So we got creative. This time, we made a Netflix episode on the television in my apartment. And we put his video in the Netflix episode, sat down with him, and I said, there's this show that I want to watch with you about this guy named James O'Keefe. And he catches all these people in the government. And the guy proceeds to criticize this James O'Keefe, to me, James O'Keefe.
So there's this show that's based upon like what he does, and I thought you'd find it very interesting given who you are. So I just want to show a few minutes of it and get your thoughts. And it's based upon this guy, James O'Keefe.
Yeah.
And I think the organization was Project Veritas.
Oh, Project Veritas.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a terrible person.
He's a terrible person. It's horrible.
Yeah.
He like sets.
So then we line up the episode and hit play.
So there's this show that's based upon like what he does, and I thought you'd find it very interesting given who you are. So I just want to show a few minutes of it and get your thoughts. And it's based upon this guy.
Now, this, I think we have the actual episode.
So there's this show that's based upon like what he does, and I thought you'd find it very interesting given who you are. So I just want to show a few minutes of it and get your thoughts. And it's based upon this guy, James O'Keefe.
Yeah.
And I think the organization was
I think when I play him the Netflix show and he's caught red-handed and he says, oh my God. And we also released this story about the Disney tapes. Now, last time I was at Turning Point, I actually said I was going to investigate Disney. Well, we did. And we caught this guy at the vice president of Disney saying he doesn't hire white people, because we don't just go into government, we go into corporations too. Oftentimes, government and corporations work hand in hand.
How would they say it?
There's no way we're hiring a white male this one. They might say something like, you know, look, we're not looking at like the usual suspects for this job. You know, for writers and actors, we'll hear all the time, like, you know, looking to hire writers and actors who bring diversity.
So we confront this guy, but we have to be creative. So this was a very unique one. There were two different female undercover journalists simultaneously meeting with this vice president of Disney. Two different ladies. None of them knew each other. They both worked for me, but he didn't think they knew each other. And as the second woman was meeting with him, the first woman shows up, pretending to have the other lady's apartment keys. He had told the first lady, he told the first undercover journalist that he had a tickle in his throat, therefore he can't meet with her.
Oh, hey, babe. Hey.
Hi.
Do you guys know each other?
Yes?
Wait, do you guys know each other?
Yes.
Are you guys on a date?
We are.
Oh, wow. You told me you had a tickle in your throat.
I did.
Is this what you call tickles you do? Going out with my friends?
Now, if that wasn't bad enough, then I show up, He's got a white Tesla. He gets in the car, he sprints away, but because of LA traffic, he couldn't get away fast enough, and I caught up with him.
You don't have authority to put me on tape. Goodbye.
I will put you on tape, and I do have that authority under the First Amendment. You know, just because you work in Hollywood doesn't give you entitlement to discriminate against people on the basis of race. Michael Giordano. We run after him. We actually catch up with him. He's going to stop.
Sir.
And we caught right there. We stop.
He's got the Tesla.
Wait, not yet. Not yet.
See if we can catch up to him.
And we do
Michael,
catch up to him. We caught up to him.
Hi, Michael.
Now, you know, it's interesting. And by the way, Disney fired this vice president. So how about we just do this thousands of times? Well, how are they gonna? They're gonna recognize you. They don't recognize me. They don't recognize you. Speaking of chasing Teslas, we caught another guy who was talking about getting around the Doge standards. Charlie Kirk tweeted this out. He was admitting on camera changing the words to avoid the scrutiny of Doge, casually admitting to want to shoot federal staffers. He also drives a white Tesla.
We're here with the guy inside the NIH who's driving away in his Tesla. Listen, you work for the government. You know, sir, you're avoiding accountability by changing the words from race to ancestry. Isn't it true that ancestry isn't the same thing as race for medical clinical trials, sir?
He's driving slowly.
You don't care about people and their health.
You don't,
I'm a journalist.
you
I
don't
care very much.
care about people or your health. One of the great ironies in my life is I'm only wearing athletic clothing at events like this. I'm running through the street in a suit. I think he was driving slowly because he wanted to hear what I had on him. So I caught up to him. Now, what's next? We got more FBI tapes. Just give me 2 minutes. I'm almost done. 2 more slides. We got more FBI agents that we're going to be releasing, but I want to tell you what we're releasing this coming week as well. You know the story we did 2 years ago on this guy. We need accountability of the pharmaceutical companies. Now, I just want to play this clip, remind you what happened, and then I'm going to tell you what I'm doing next.
Pfizer ultimately is thinking about mutating COVID?
Well, that is not what we say to the public. No, don't tell anyone this. You probably shouldn't tell anyone. You probably shouldn't tell anyone. Okay? We're exploring, like, now, you know how the virus keeps mutating?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we're exploring is, like, why don't we just mutate it ourselves?
Why don't we mutate the virus ourselves? But don't tell this to anybody. You remember this guy, he's the one who assaulted me and assaulted my cameraman 2 years ago. Please unlock the door. Please unlock the door. Please unlock the door. Unlock the door. Unlock the door. These are the medical professionals in our country. Unlock the door. This is remarkable. This guy, Yale-educated mRNA director at Pfizer. So, we know the vaccine had issues. We know there was a cover-up. So this week, what we exposed with Pfizer Pharmaceutical? Next week, we're going after Johnson & Johnson. Okay.